Thank you to those of you who've turned your videos on. Do you have any questions or maybe comments for us?
My name is Alyssa Johnson, and I teach at South Georgia State College. And I use the English composition book, which none of these webinars ever talk about. It's always all math.
It's true. You're totally right.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. It's nice to meet you.
Okay, and one question I have, which is a topic that's coming up shortly in my class,
Okay.
is I teach both the rhetorical analysis and logical fallacies.
Okay.
And for the rhetorical analysis, your content in the English composition books covers logos, pathos, ethos, and that's it.
Okay.
And I would love to see something about, covering something about the rhetoric or and right now the word is slipping my mind.
That's okay. So this is great, actually. So this is exactly something that Customer Love could do. Stephanie and I really do work in the math department, but we do work closely with all the other ones. If you have like examples of what exactly you're looking for, even just like a picture on your phone, right? Like, oh, I found this in a textbook. This is what I'm looking for. Send that to your Hawks rep. And I'm not sure who the representative is for your school. I apologize. But
I don't think we have a specific representative.
Okay.
But then they went to the team thing.
You're in instructor support. Yeah, Marissa, thank you for joining in. Just go ahead and send it. And you can either just send it to that instructor support email and that will come through. So you're right. Stephanie and I do work in the math side. That's why this was very heavily math. But we do work closely with the English department. So feel free to send it over. That's a great thing to know. Okay.
Yeah, because talking about the rhetorical appeals, which are the logos, pathos, ethos, the content I would love to see is maybe a lesson on the rhetorical strategies, which are diction, narration, and the other terminology that is used because one of my assignments is an essay where the students will analyze the rhetoric that's used in an article and tell me through their essay, is this author successful in getting their point across and getting people to agree with it using those rhetorical strategies and the persuasive appeals?
Got it. Yeah, that sounds great. Please send that information over and we'll do what we can. That's great.
I will. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks for joining.
Hi, I am Dr. Ladorian Latin, and I'm at Franklin University. I use the college algebra text.
Okay.
So, and I've created some custom questions for my exams. The one thing that I would appreciate if this were possible in the future, the ability to have, or I guess to create graphing questions. So, on the homework, students are able to graph,
Yes.
I can, Hawks content that's ready-made, students can graph,
Absolutely.
But I can't create anything like that,
Got it.
where the input options are graphing. I want the students to be able to, graph something, but that's not an answer option at this point.
Right.
Is to have a student to input a graph.
Yep.
So that would be really good.
Yeah, that's super helpful. And you're not alone there. You're definitely not alone. We ask for that all the time. So my first question to you would be, are you finding that even in the homework questions that we do have available, it's not the kind of graphing that you want your students to do?
Well, so the reason why I use my own for those is because the questions I create assess multiple learning outcomes all in one question.
Okay.
And I find that that isn't necessarily the case just in general. You know, I mean, when you're
right.
when you're doing homework and, you know, depending on what section you're in, you know, this is the topic for this particular section. So this question might ask students to do one thing or maybe one or two things. But on an exam, I'm asking students, you know, let's say, for instance, they're graphing a rational function, but I'm asking about asymptotes and is there a hole in the function? How do you know there's a hole?
Yes.
Do this and do that. So there are all these things, and if they put all that together, then they can have this nice rational function graph at the end.
Got it.
So it's not just, you know, the graph itself isn't the thing I want them to do. I want them to be able to fit all these other things together nicely. So some of my questions have like 8 or 9 steps.
Got it.
That they're doing. Yeah.
Analyzing the graph.
Yeah. So Dr. Latin, I wonder if you would mind if I could take a look in your grade book and see the questions you've created. I'll give you just a little snippet. I'm not sure how familiar you are with software, but in order for a student to input a graph based on the question builder tool that we have, let's say that we're asking a student for a point on a line, right? And we want them to graph the point 1, 3. What if they click at 1.1, 3.2, right? Like, do we assess that as correct or not? So there's sort of like this weird variance with software, right? Where it's like, how exact do we want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And the issue that Hawks is having right now in terms of our question builder is that we don't have a way for instructors to set the variance, right? We don't have a way for instructors to say, it's okay if it's 0.25 off, or it's not okay if it's 0.25 off, it must be exact. And because of that, we don't want to release the capability for students to graph until we are able to give instructors exactly that sort of range of acceptance criteria. So we're sort of, you're right, you're not the only person to ask this, and I wish we had that capability. It's currently under development. And it's just not ready yet. So it is top priority for our software developers. They've been working on it for quite some time, but in the software world, that ability to give a bridge or to give a range, if you will, is very tricky. And there's a lot of nuance there. But if you wouldn't mind, I would love to kind of look in your grade book and see the questions you do have. And then just maybe see if there's anything Customer Love can do for you in terms of giving you more of those questions that are all assessment together. But I would be happy to do that for you if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, great. I'll make a note to do that.
Okay.
Thank you for joining today. That's great feedback too. I really appreciate what you said.
All right, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments on the capabilities of Customer Love or anything that you all need from Hawks? Either things you're happy with or not happy with?
Well, I think I probably said this previously because you know, but and so, you know, this might be something that's being worked on, but you know, I think still the process of, you know, when you create sections and things and having the separate assignment due dates and stuff, I still sometimes get flustered when I feel like sometimes I think I'm doing something wrong, because you know you got assignment due dates, late policy thing. I guess I feel like there are so many different things that go along with setting up courses.
Yeah, you're right. You're just sort of almost describing the paradox of choice, right? Yeah. Like, don't give me so many, but I really would like all of them, right? Yeah, I hear you. Hopefully, you can always reach out to your Hawks rep for help with that. Like, they're happy to, if you've got things where you're like, can you just do this for me, right? Like, we're happy to always do that. And that won't come through us, don't come through Stephanie and I, but like Marissa and her team, they love to help instructors make sure everything's set up. So if you are in that predicament of the paradox of choice, like definitely reach out to your rep. You don't have to sit there and trudge through that by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a great comment, great question.
Yeah, and Dr. Latin, you can call in as well and just get, we have phone hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as our 24/7 live chat. But definitely feel free to shoot us an email and schedule trainings. They are unlimited. So we'd be happy to make sure everything's set up and ready to go the way you want them and need them to be. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Awesome. This has been fantastic feedback. Thank you to everybody who's joined. If there's anyone else who hasn't chimed in yet and you do have a question, Stephanie and I are happy to answer, even if it's something small and unique and custom to you. But we really do want you to know that your Hawks product can be tailored for as much as possible within software limitations, right, and author royalties. But we're happy to tailor the product that you purchased to your needs. So if it's not perfect, like you don't have to live with it. We'll do what we can to make it as perfect as we can.
Well, this is good to know that there's help in terms of with the customized questions and things. Because just recently I was updating some of my custom questions to have, I guess, more auto-graded things, auto-graded questions, because originally I didn't have any online exams. We just had to switch to it because of COVID-19. And so when I initially switched to online exams, a good number of my custom questions were just, manually graded, because it was just easier to do that. Just throw it all in there. I was in a panic anyways, because everything had just shut down. And so I was like, okay, well, let me now go back and edit some stuff now. And I was about to go crazy because I was like, well, I don't think I understand what I'm doing here. And I did email someone in the instructor support, but they didn't understand what I was talking about, because I was like, well, maybe I'm not being clear right now. And then I had to, read my email. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I said that correctly. And then we finally got on the same page. But hey, next time I'm not going to go through all that.
You definitely don't need to. Stephanie, can you flip back to the College of Charleston example? It's like way back in the slides. So Dr. Latin, College of Charleston is they use our customer love service a lot, as well as University of North Carolina uses us a lot, but this is a good example. And these are simple questions, of course, but really what happened was the instructors at the College of Charleston had a PDF that they really loved to give to their students as a review assignment. But then what they wanted was they actually wanted those questions available in the software so that they could assess them. And this is just a simple example, but you'll see on the left, see how the questions are 21 and 22. So this was a very, very long PDF that they had, and they just, I think instructors, I used to teach for a while, right? I had my sort of tried and true review materials, right? Or my tried and true test and my assessment questions that I knew I loved, that I used all the time. And eventually College of Charleston said, you know what, can you just please put these in the software? And the great thing about having customer love do it, right, is you do get the help, the tutor, the hint, right? You get the iterations, right? 50 different iterations for these questions. So students can practice, right? You can assign them on homework so students can practice. And it's not just one sheet of paper where it's one try and then they're done. So this is just a quick example, but if you have questions, like either sheets of paper or PDFs or Word docs, however you keep them, go ahead and send those over, and we'll see what we can do to get them in the software. And it's, like I said, it's possible that we have similar questions maybe in other products, but if not, we're happy to create them within our software limitations. So, and that would keep you from manually grading a ton of things, which, as every teacher knows, takes forever.
Awesome.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for joining today.
Are there any additional questions? Just want to give one more moment in case there are any lingering questions. So we're just about at our time. I hope that you found this to be a very helpful overview of our customer love team. If you do have any custom content requests you'd like to share with us, I'll be posting a link in the chat that you can submit a request directly to our customer love team. And I just want to thank you again for joining us. If any questions or additional questions come up, please don't hesitate to reach out to your training and support specialist for more information. We'd be really happy to help. So have a wonderful day all.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much for coming.
Thanks, everyone.